And we start with some breaking news just south of Portland in Milwaukee tonight. That's where emergency crews are on the scene of a serious car accident. Now, this is just outside the Fred Meyer off Southeast McLaughlin Boulevard. ODOT confirms all lanes were shut down in the area, but it appears traffic is moving once again. Now, we're still waiting for more information about this crash from police, and we will provide that information to you once we get it. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Gordon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Our other top story, many local small businesses in Portland have run into some pretty tough times. For Urbanite in Southeast Portland, the last few weeks have been devastating. A break-in, their building defaced with graffiti, and limited response from the city. And as Art Edwards tells us, the owner says they're not alone.
But it's sad that you have to predict when the next break-in is going to be and if they're going to do it the same way.
This has been a difficult time for Rachel Coyote and her store Urbanite. It's on Southeast Grand between Yamhill and Taylor. It's what she calls a lifestyle store. 54 small businesses under one roof, makers selling their wares to customers. It's been here for nearly 5 years.
It was important to come home and start a business that supported my small community.
Just over a week ago, someone broke in while the store was closed and stole thousands of dollars of merchandise. After that, other people simply walked in and took what they wanted.
And plink, 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 plink.
A few days later, someone shot at windows, hitting 11 with pellets.
You can see crack that window, you can see the top shot, and then those two and that one, and then there's a couple more up higher you can't see.
This morning, she came to work to find that someone had tagged the front of the building. An out-of-state production company planned to pay Urbanite to use the building as a backdrop in an ad campaign.
Well, the assistant said, I told you we shouldn't shoot in Portland. Like, that's depressing.
They canceled the shoot.
I spent a lot of this morning crying.
She says it's beginning to get disheartening.
It's really been hard. I mean, when you have to limit your hiring because you're repairing your building, when you have to come to work every Sunday to paint your building, when you have coworkers who are being threatened on their way to work, when you have fellow small business owners who are being threatened with weaponry, who are locked in their building, who are suffering in every single way.
Coyote says her business is not alone.
We have small businesses who are telling us one story after another every single day, and at some point it starts to break your heart so much you wonder if you should leave.
We have 1,100 police officers and about 700.
During the week, Sam Adams from the city of Portland took part in a meeting with local business owners at Urbanite to talk about their concerns. Coyote says they've been told to look into putting bars on their windows and hiring private security.
The support for the real people who are paying the taxes is invisible.
What she and others would like to see is a physical and fiscal response from the city, because the problems as they stand right now are not going away. Art Edwards, KGW News.
Well, the gun violence in Portland is not relenting, and the latest incident passes a milestone many hoped that we'd never see. Today, Police Chief Chuck Lavelle sent out this message saying Portland has passed 1,000 shootings in the city so far this year. While the numbers appear large, Lavelle goes on to say they're working to set up a team that has a goal of de-escalating tensions in the community that's feeding the violence. The latest big event happened last night near the Gresham border at 165th and Main. Investigators found more than 50 casings and 4 live rounds after the shooting there. Multiple bullets hit a mailbox, a fence. 4 vehicles also hit outside on the block. For one family, the scariest moment was when a bullet went through their home.
We were in the living room watching TV like 5 minutes before everything happened, and our living room was the one that was struck. So we were thankful that nothing happened and everybody is safe.
Now, police say all strikes appear to be unintended, but the case is under investigation. Anyone with information, please contact the Portland Police Bureau. Police on the other side of the Columbia River also dealing with gun violence. Clark County deputies were called to 5 corners around 10:30 last night on reports of a drive-by shooting. When they arrived, they found the victim inside a home with a gunshot wound in the leg. Now, that person said they believe they were followed home by an unknown person who shot at them several times, mostly hitting their vehicle. Witnesses say the suspect took off in a red or orange SUV or hatchback. Anyone with information should contact the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Well, back here in Portland, police want to warn you about a very troubling tactic that they're seeing being used by car thieves. They say this week alone, there have been 4 incidents in the southeast part of the city. Victims describe 2 to 4 teens running up to their cars and yelling and sometimes banging on the vehicle. They yell that something is wrong with the car or hanging out in the back. When the driver gets out to check, they jump in and take off.
Just get out of the area if you can. We certainly recommend people don't get out of their car, lock their doors, and drive away to a safe location if they can. If that's not possible, if they feel like they're stuck, then they can certainly call for help. If they have a cell phone, you can call 911. We'll come and give you a hand.
Police say thieves appear to be targeting mostly women driving alone. They ask if you know anything about these recent, really dangerous crimes to contact police. All right, well, let's switch gears a little bit here and bring in meteorologist Chris McGinnis because we're looking at some rain, right?
Yeah, a little bit of rain in the forecast for tomorrow. But before we get to that, how about a pretty sunset? I've got a nice time lapse queued up from Newport earlier this afternoon. What a pretty shot along the Oregon coast from Yaquina Bay. Sun sinking off to the west. We're still losing about 3 minutes of daylight each day here as we get deeper into the month of October. All right, rain, yes, that is in the forecast. Here's a quick look at the satellite radar loop. Here's the storm system we're watching. The rain that you see offshore right now, a lot of that is going to head up into BC. So that's not necessarily what's going to impact us tomorrow. Neither is this little spin out here in the clouds. That's the upper level piece of this system. They're kind of splitting, right? But as the two come together and work their way towards the Oregon coast, we do expect to see the clouds increase overnight. And here's a quick look at Futurecast early tomorrow morning. The coast will get wet starting before sunrise tomorrow. And it's likely the coast will see a fairly wet day on Sunday. But you'll notice I roll the clock on Futurecast. It takes a good long time before any of those showers get over the coast range and into the Willamette Valley. I'll walk you through that and a look ahead to the week ahead coming up in just a few minutes. Tim?
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Well, believe it or not, Halloween is just 15 days away now. This year with COVID, families will have to weigh safety with fun. And local doctors say by taking the right measures, both can be possible. Galen Etlin shares how experts think you can celebrate without fear.
Kids are getting their costumes ready.
I think Halloween is a great COVID-friendly holiday.
Multnomah County Health Officer Dr. Jennifer Vines is joining other experts in approval.
It's a good time to reflect on why it's important to get vaccinated, but go out there and enjoy Halloween as well as the other holidays.
What advice do you have for families regarding Halloween and trick-or-treating?
To keep those activities outside. It's still a good idea to have people masked indoors. And then just back to basics. If people are not feeling well, they really shouldn't be participating in Halloween activities.
The holiday comes as 28 million children, 5 to 11 years old, wait for vaccine approval. They could get shots in arms as early as November.
I think all indications are hopefully once the FDA completes its work that we'll see vaccine in kids after Halloween.
The good news locally is COVID cases are trending down.
We seem to be emerging from this Delta wave with nothing on the horizon, knock on wood.
And school and workplace vaccine mandates have helped boost immunization rates.
It sends a signal that something is important. If you've never thought twice about something like polio or measles, chances are it's because you had to be vaccinated for it to enter school.
So as Halloween approaches, experts again encourage getting vaccinated to reduce risk on your family and reduce pressure on the healthcare system. Galen Etlin, KGW News.